My name is Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. I live at 3102 Center Hill Road, Eckrich, Mississippi, 38841. I am currently in Tupelo, Mississippi, near the hospital. I am still under attack. So, yesterday and today, uh, they have assaulted brain tissue, mostly my inner brain. So they have put a hole under what they call the corpus callosum. I think it's actually like the hippocampus or something. It is a mushroom-shaped uh, brain feature that sits in front of our brainstem. So over the past week or so, they have been putting holes at the base of it using parasites. Yes, I'm guessing this is extra dimensional biology. And they've been using bigger and bigger parasites and devices and tools to enlarge the holes so they can pull my inner brain out of my head using a tool. The tool has been on my brain for months. So they have been planning this for months. Now I'm being threatened. They said once it goes, that hurts. I'm being assaulted in my inner brain. You're breaking the law. I'm getting victim shamed. They're saying I've somehow done something wrong to justify their criminal behavior towards me. However, this criminal behavior, the exact criminal behavior, started 10 years before said crime that I supposedly committed, that I know nothing about. That is all they do. They sit here on their aliens and steal body parts from me for multiple reasons. First, they're trying to make a toy or a hive mind technology that allows other people to read my thoughts for a fee and to utilize my brain, my neurology, and access my psychology. They're doing this for a fee. Second, they are trying to use it for transplant purposes. So they are literally trying to take my intelligence and my ability to create and write literature and do other things and put this on someone else's head. That's the way they think. They steal body parts for a living. Third, they are trying to make surrogates out of my biology, the entire thing, not just brain pieces. And lastly, they are torturing me, utilizing my biology. So there's this entanglement property. If you remove part of your biology, especially brain and central nervous system tissue, you still have to experience this body part no matter where it goes in the universe. It is an entanglement property. You are still in this biology. What happens is you can't remove energy from the particles in which we consist of. So when this happens, space-time warps and conforms to ensure the energy stays in place so the particle will not be destroyed. This is entanglement. They are utilizing this property of our biology to torture me. It's similar to the idea of voodoo dolls. They can take part of your biology and torture it, make you feel pain and suffering and discomfort. And then they're doing things like making little look-alike surrogates that look like them, look like the culprits, and they put my biology on it, and then they destroy the surrogate, or they put it down a hole, or lock it out of entropy, or do something to it that, in which they call sending it to hell, which is actually a torture technique. They do things like this to my extra-dimensional biology. So my biology has been mostly removed. The human biology has 11 dimensions with this dark matter also attached to us. Creates whole new uh, biological features and organs and tissues in which we can't see on this side of the universe. They have taken it all. Everything down to my third dimension. So there are 3 dimensions within the extra dimension. The first 1 through 3 dimensions show up over there. You can think of what we consider as a third dimension. You can think of this as just the shell of something else. All we see is the electron shell of the stuff that we are made of. Inside of the particles in which we consist of lie 11 more dimensions. So we have 1 through 3 dimensions inside of this shell. And this is what Scientology does. Some of these people, they remove everything up to the third dimension. They leave 1 through 3 dimensions still attached, so the origin biology can survive and function properly. If you start removing the first 3 dimensions from a biology, it will die or become sick and dysfunctional. So these people belong to the Navy. Most of these people are in the Navy, the National Guard, the Marines, and the Army, the FBI, the CIA, the government, such as politicians, media companies such as NPR, NPB, social media companies such as Facebook, YouTube, marketing companies, the people that control what we see on television. They control the scheduling and the commercials we see and internet ads. They are also involved in this event. And the tech companies such as Microsoft and other tech companies, they are also involved in this event. And big business owners, CEOs and owners of big business, they are also involved in this event. And all these people practice Scientology. They are beholden to the Scientology community, not the public or the government. So, Scientology, there are more than 3 dimensions. There are 11 dimensions. We have biology in these extra dimensions that we cannot see while we are alive. We utilize this biology to have an afterlife. When we die, we cleave ourselves. We leave nothing but the electron shell behind. We take all 11 dimensions and fly into outer space. People call this heaven. This is where we live, off planet. We survive by breathing a consumable gas-like substance. They call it the nether. It's this dark matter, dark energy in which we are designed to consume after death to sustain us. Okay, Scientology is the practice of utilizing this extra dimensional biology before we die. They remove it from themselves while they are alive, and they use technology and techniques to turn it into an upper dimensional vehicle. Biologies in which they can drive through the upper dimensions while they are still alive. They call these organisms aliens. These aliens are remote controlled organisms. Scientologists use this technology and these aliens to commit crimes against humanity. If you have any kind of power, influence, or authority, or a job position in which they desire to control, or they are just attracted to you in some way, they may force you to assimilate. They may force you into a hive mind or force you to practice Scientology in an attempt to control you or take over your life. This is what they do. They force people into assimilation and they take over their lives. If there is any kind of pushback or people don't want to join or practice, they may get turned into a surrogate, which is a biology in which another person can drive. Is they may take these people's lives and control their biology on their own. Or they may harass them, which harassment is horrible within the Scientology community because the technology they use has a narcotic-like effect upon the user. It elevates dopamine and norepinephrine and serotonin and testosterone and estrogen and growth hormone. It makes people extremely irritable and extremely offended, and it causes psychosis and delusions. and jealousy and pettiness and greed and toxic masculinity. Yes, I'm being assaulted at this very moment. When I turned my phone on and started making a video, they stopped. They literally have my brain. They have, so first off, like, I don't know how many years ago, but it was a long time ago, before I got assimilated, they cut a hole directly into my brain at this angle, all the way down to my thalamus. And then they used this coring device to core out the center of my brain through my thalamus so they could gain access to my frontal lobe. Then they stuck this box down through my head all the way up to my frontal lobe, and then inserted a screen in which interfaced with my frontal lobe, the visual center of our brains. And they use this to spy on me and to invade my privacy. They call this a PreserVision device. I've been like that for probably 20 years, or somewhere in there, between 15 and 20 years ago. I had to live like that.